So you think we're in a recession, or perhaps a recession might be starting. Given that we are a real estate channel, it probably makes sense to understand what might happen to interest rates. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about interest rates falling over the last couple of years, and they simply have not. So let's look at what happened during the last 6 recessions. Maybe that could be a guide for us on what is coming. So if we go back and we look at 1980, obviously we all should know that rates were much higher. But in the 1980 recession, mortgage rates went down 4.25%. How about 1981? 1981 was that, Arthur Burns to Paul Volcker transition. In 1981, mortgage rates went down 5%. How about 1991? They went down 2.25, 2.25. 2001 did not fall all that much. In fact, only fell just over 0.5%. They were down 0.63. 2008, again, some might call that a lost decade for the stock market. Mortgage rates fell 1.13%. And then finally, 2020, mortgage rates fell 1%. So again, of the last 6 recessions, mortgage rates fell between basically 0.5% and 5%. Obviously, we should understand where we are starting. We are not starting at 18%. So thinking we're going to fall 5% is highly unlikely. But could mortgage rates fall 0.5%? Absolutely. Could they fall 1%? Maybe. We just have to get through this and really figure out what's going on. But a lot of people are starting to talk recession. So I thought I would look into and study the history of mortgage rates. Again, folks, never forget that one of the most valuable things I give away is now the 55-year spreadsheet. You can go to onerentalatatime.com. Simply put in your email address, and it will automatically send it to you. It's got 55 years of economic data. You can ask yourself what happened in different periods. That spreadsheet is exactly what led me to call a transaction crash and not prices. We were right. Crash Bros were wrong. It also has led me to think that 2025 will be the lowest year of transactions in this cycle, and that 26 and 27 will be better. So again, very, very valuable spreadsheet. Let's talk about a couple of quotes that I read the other day. Let's talk about the real Brad Lee. The real Brad Lee, one of those motivational coaches, I think is fair to say. He did have a quote that I thought was interesting that I thought we could talk about. He said, "The greatest prison has no bars. It is just a paycheck, a routine, and weekends off." Folks, there's a lot of truth in that. And again, I lived this for, 10 years out of college. And, income went up, you bought more stuff. All you're doing when you don't appreciate the game of wealth generation, is you're just making the wheel, the rat race, bigger and bigger and bigger. And you have to exert more, and it's riskier if you fall off and everything explodes. What I strongly suggest and learned when I was 30 was that you can actually take your job, your W-2 job, and turn it into the key for your financial future. It takes some discipline. It takes living below your means. It takes that becoming an expert in an area, but it is certainly possible. At One Rental at a Time, we bring you 12 to 15 examples every week with different interviews of people that proved it is possible. The greatest prison has no bars, just a paycheck, a routine, and weekends off. Folks, I don't accept that. I hope you don't accept that. Now, you don't have to become an entrepreneur because, again, as Ed Milet says, only 9% of us are wired to be entrepreneurs. But you know what? Damn it. You and I, we could look at our job different. We can look at our job as the key to financial freedom. And I strongly suggest you do that. Nick Timiraos of the Wall Street Journal, a.k.a. Nicky Leaks, so termed by Meet Kevin, he happened to say that if Friday's jobs numbers are bad, we could get a June rate cut. Well, folks, I don't know if you saw it, but Friday's numbers were not bad. They were actually really, really good. U.S. payrolls jumped 177,000. It was expected to be 133. Remember, the ADP report from earlier in the week was like 65 or 64 or something. So again, U.S. payrolls were not bad. So June rate cut off the table. Again, they were so strong, it would not surprise me if we even reduced the number of rate cuts expected for the year, which was 4. It's got to be 3 at this point, if not lower. Don't know if you know this, but Warren Buffett on Saturday gave up being the CEO. He's been the CEO for 55 years. He was the longest serving CEO of a Fortune 500 company. He is the Oracle of Omaha. Lots of great quotes. In fact, I found a Warren Buffett quote that I thought would be interesting to you and important for this channel. Warren Buffett said, "You do not have to be smarter than the rest. You just have to be more disciplined than the rest." Folks, if that doesn't scream one rental at a time, I don't know what does. All I talk about is get a buy box, look every day, get in the right networks. Getting wealthy with real estate is not hard. It takes work, it takes consistency. It takes being disciplined more than the rest. And again, Warren Buffett certainly is a supporter of that. Let's do something I haven't done in a while. Let's congratulate some people for getting deals. Look at all these deals people have done in the last 4 or 5 days. Folks, again, I keep telling you 2025 is the year of the investor. Again, right disrespectful offers, get the deal of a lifetime. It is just there for you. So Craig, congratulations. Your card will be in the mail. Jason, your card will be in the mail. Elise, your card will be going out in the mail. Renee, congratulations. Your card will be in the mail. And finally, Avery. Avery, congratulations. Folks, people watching this channel are doing the work. I'm very proud of you. If you do close a deal, just let me know. We'll send you a black card if it's your second or more deals. If it's your first card, you'll get a golden ticket. Again, congratulations. And Elise, well done. Oops, clicked on the wrong thing. There you go. Elise, there you go. Give you a little love. Congratulations for getting that done. Let's talk about some earnings we had last week. Again, we don't record on Friday, so a lot of these earnings came out Thursday and Friday. We'll go through them quickly. Amazon beat top line and bottom line, but gave weak guidance. Roblox, same thing, beat top and bottom line, actually added 13 million users. Good for them. Airbnb beat on revenue, hit on earnings, but had weak guidance. Reddit beat top line and bottom line, raised guidance. Shout out to the team at Reddit, raising guidance in this environment. Apple beat top line and bottom line, announced a $10 billion buyback, but said they expect almost $1 billion in tariffs. The number was 900 million. Tariff impacting Q2. It's too hard to forecast much past that. MicroStrategy missed terribly. In fact, their adjusted earnings per share was negative $16.53. It was expected to be negative 11 cents. So I do not know what happened. I'm guessing maybe some Bitcoin reevaluation or mark to market or something, but that is a horrible earnings miss. $16? Woo, not good. Block missed on revenue and gave disappointing guidance. Something from Microsoft. Microsoft said they're going to raise the price of the Xbox by 20% because of tariffs. Something else going on, Las Vegas. Shout out the team at Zillow, writing up Las Vegas, saying active inventory is up 44% year on year. Price cuts are up 27 to 27.1%. But, sorry, Doomers, prices are up 3.3%, even though inventory is up 44%. JD Vance, Vice President JD Vance, says the war in Ukraine is not going to end anytime soon. JD, I don't know what to tell you, buddy, but I hope you're wrong. I hope you are wrong. That needs to be over, done. There's the death and it's just horrible. War is not ever good. Another thing Warren Buffett had to say, again, Warren Buffett, his stepping down as the CEO, said there is so much opportunity that presents itself in the stock market compared to the real estate market. Obviously, Warren Buffett and his longtime co-chair, Charlie Munger, rest in peace, are very much in the stock market. Charlie Munger, I just read this morning, actually, if he had to choose between real estate and stocks, he would go into stocks every single time. To which I replied, that is not everybody's cup of tea. I would much rather pick real estate over stocks if I had to choose one. I do want to shout out somebody who took the 50-40-10 that we talk about with Stephen Dow and actually closed a deal. I let you guys know we did this Sunday deep dive last week. It's on YouTube. He closed on a sixplex. How did he structure the deal? He got a 50% mortgage for the best interest rates from Velocity. He had the seller carry back 35%, and he brought 15% to the table. What is special about this deal? One, it's a sixplex. Two, guess what his interest rate is on the 35% second? That much. He got the seller to take back 35% at 0% interest. So let's just say, for heaven's sakes, the first is at 8%, the second is at 0. If you add that together, you're borrowing 85% of the money at a blended interest rate of probably 5 1/4, 5 1/3. I haven't done the math, but just given all the times I've done it. So how can that be? Well, you find a motivated seller. They want out. You give them their price. There you go. So again, I'm very proud of the fact that we had somebody do a version of the 50-40-10. I know that somebody out there, somebody watching, is going to buy an apartment building even bigger than the 6 units. They're going to buy 100, 200 units with the 50-40-10 or version of that. Did get an update from Redfin. First-time home buyers only make up 24% of the market today. That is the lowest since 1981. Again, folks, the 55-year spreadsheet, if you haven't downloaded it, I don't know what you're doing. It is free. You should look at 1980 and 81 and 82. See what happened to real estate. See what happened to stocks. Again, we are entering a very interesting period. I do want to shout out a sponsor for the daily financial news, Steadily. You see it up the upper right-hand corner. They are the Landlord Insurance. Again, they sponsored the daily financial news because they want you guys to know you can, as a landlord, you can go get a quote. And again, if you're just getting started, go get a quote so you can know what insurance costs as you build out your spreadsheet. You get a cancellation or whatnot, go to Steadily. There'll be a link in the description. What else do I have today? I guess one last thing. I want to congratulate some people that joined school. Robert, John, Jeremy, and Kurt. We had 4 of you join in the last couple of days. Remember, in about 17 minutes, we're going to go live inside school with the CEO of PropertyRadar. Folks like you and I could use this sophisticated platform to not only fish for on-market opportunities, but also go look for off-market. I'll put a link in the description for a 5-day free trial if you want to play with it. Go ahead and do that, folks. I hope you have an amazing day. It is Sunday. We are going to go live in school very shortly. Like, subscribe, comment, become part of the family, and we will talk to you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Pacific. Later.